They said betrayal feels like ice in the veins, but the night I found out he was with her, it burned. I and Helena Montez, 35 years old, senior bank executive in the heart of New York's glass towers, the kind of woman people nod to in boardrooms without ever truly knowing what storms I've weathered. I grew up where pennies were stretched thin and every plan was whispered for fear someone might steal it. I clawed my way from teller's desk to corner office, sitting atop strategies no one dares question, with investments hidden so deep even the market blushes at my reach. But none of that prepared me for the moment I discovered the man I built a life with, my husband, was in bed not just with another woman, but with the one person I trusted like a sister. Her laugh had filled my kitchen, her advice had soothed my worries, and her hand on mine had felt like safety. That night, the city outside my window was dripping in rain and neon, the kind you could smell like wet copper. My phone lit up with a video grainy but enough to carve a hole in me. Him, her, my living room. I remember curling my fingers around the arm of my chair so tightly my nails bit the leather. The thud of my own heartbeat drowned out the world. My first instinct was destruction, fire and fury, but rage without strategy is just noise. So I let them think I was broken. I smiled at breakfast, even packed his bag for a weekend trip with the boys, knowing that trip wasn't with them at all. My mind became the quiet architect of their undoing. The truth is, power in love and war is not in the outburst, it's in the patience before the strike. For weeks I studied them. I learned her weaknesses, his debts, the cracks in the image they presented. I remembered every term in his prenuptial agreement, ironically written by his own lawyer to protect what he thought was his lead. In the bank, numbers tell stories, and I followed the trail. A private account here, an unrecorded payment there. He had underestimated the woman who built portfolios like puzzles and saw patterns in shadows. One evening, I invited them both to dinner, feigning peace, wearing a dress the color of midnight. Candles flickered, wine swirled. Their eyes darted in guilt every time my gaze lingered. After dessert, I placed an envelope on the table. Inside, a printed list of every indiscretion, financial and otherwise, tied neatly with dates and amounts. His jaw tightened, hers trembled. "Soon," I said softly, "you'll both be working for me." It wasn't a threat. It was a forecast. Within the month, I orchestrated the quiet buyout of the struggling firm he'd been investing in. The ownership transfer went through without a single public whisper, and one morning he woke to find that the only contract keeping him afloat bore my signature. I became his employer. She, too, had invested in that same firm through him. Her shares now sat under my control. The look in their eyes, the first day they walked into my office, was the closest thing to poetry I've ever seen. The kind where every verse is bitter and every word tastes like ash. If you love Helena's journey, like and subscribe to join her next chapter. I made no public scene, no loud announcement. Justice is a dish best served cold, under fluorescent lights in an air-conditioned room where your betrayers are forced to thank you for the opportunity to work. And here's the moral edge. Did I destroy them? No, that would have been too easy. I kept them close, disciplined, indebted. I watched them attend meetings, their voices small, their shoulders low, signing off on policies I dictated. At night, I would step onto my balcony, feel the hum of the city beneath me, and taste the sharp tang of victory. But it wasn't just about winning. It was about showing them I was not the woman you betray and then bury. I was granite. I was the skyscraper they walked past every morning knowing I owned the view. Sometimes I think about the girl I used to be, the one who thought love was safety, who let friends close without question. That girl is gone, replaced by someone who learned that betrayal is only fatal if you let it be. Now I wield it like a scalpel, precise and deliberate, cutting away anything that does not serve my empire. And despite the cold weight of what they did to me, there is a warm ember in knowing my story will outlast them. They cheated with my best friend, now they work for me, and I am far from finished. You've been with me through this chapter of revenge. Stay with me for what comes next. Because the skyline is mine and I have only just begun. Subscribe now because Helena Montez does not play small, and the best revenge stories are the ones still being written.